What's up, fam? Welcome back to another exciting edition of Keith Walker Books Reads. Today, I'm going to read you a poem titled The Ballad of Birmingham. It's written by Dudley Randall. A little backstory on the poet. Uh, Mr. Randall he lived from 1914 to the year 2000, born in Washington, D.C., son of a minister and a teacher. And he was very good at poetry, even from a young age. I think he wrote his first poem when he was 4, if you could believe it, and published his first poem when he was 13. All right, so this poem is about an incident that took place at the 16th Street Baptist Church. If that sounds familiar, that is the site where the KKK bombed the church, wounded a lot of people, and killed 4 innocent black girls. The victims were Adam A. Collins, age 14, Denise McNair, age 11, Carol Robertson, age 14, and Cynthia Wesley, age 14. So, as far as why they chose to bomb this church, it's because at the time during the 60s and the civil rights movement, this church was a big staging ground for a lot of civil rights activities. The activists would meet there, plan, strategize, and oftentimes they would leave directly from the church and go do their protests or their sit-ins or whatever civil rights activity they chose to do. And as you know, there were people at that time who were against, segregation in general. And there was this belief back then that you could kill the movement by killing either the leaders or scaring people, which is what the KKK kind of liked to do. They thought that if they put enough fear into the heart of black people, then they would just be quiet and stop fighting for rights. But that never works. I mean, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Fred Hampton, you can assassinate a person, but you cannot stop a movement. I think later some of the people involved in this said that they didn't mean for anyone to get killed. The bomb went off at the wrong time. They were just trying to blow up the church and not actually hurt anyone. But the bomb went off at 10:22 a.m. on church Sunday. So the church was full of people. It was a horrific event. It was despicable. So I'm not going to mention the names of the KKK individuals who were actually involved in this. Most of them got prosecuted. I think it took so long to actually figure out who was involved. One of them died before he was brought to justice, but it was just a tragic event. As far as the poem is a ballad, and it's written in a fairly simplistic, almost sing-songy type of rhyming scheme. When I do poetry in class, as far as analysis for my students, I would normally pick a poem that has way more in-depth vocabulary, a lot more literary elements like personification, symbolism, things like that. But sometimes you don't need all of that to get your point across, especially when you're dealing with subject matter like this. This poem is definitely deep. It's definitely important because of the topic. All right, so here's the poem, Ballad of Birmingham. Mother dear, may I go downtown instead of out to play and march the streets of Birmingham in a freedom march today? No, baby, no, you may not go, for the dogs are fierce and wild, and clubs and hoses, guns and jails aren't good for a little child. But mother, I won't be alone. Other children will go with me and march the streets of Birmingham to make our country free. No, baby, no, you may not go, for I fear those guns will fire, but you may go to church instead and sing in the children's choir. She has combed and brushed her night dark hair and bathed rose petals sweet and drawn white gloves on her small brown hands and white shoes on her feet. The mother smiled to know her child was in a sacred place, but that smile was the last smile to come upon her face. For when she heard the explosion, her eyes grew wet and wild. She raced through the streets of Birmingham, calling for her child. She clawed through bits of glass and brick, then lifted out a shoe. Oh, here's the shoe my baby wore. But baby, where are you? Okay, so that's that poem. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to post a comment, you can do so in the comment section below. And as usual, if you just stumbled across my channel and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'd love to see you around again. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time.